Good morning, Divya.
Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to this meeting of GMRT, full of warmth and basically a very understanding group where you feel so welcome. And once you join, you feel like you're hooked onto this thing. So it's beautiful to be here. A very warm welcome. I hope that all of you enjoy the story and the script that I'm going to share today. My name is Divya Gupta. I'm from India. I'm a special educator by profession. To begin this meeting, I would like to share a very short video and then you can come up with your opinion on it. Okay, so I'm just going to share it now with you.
Natural disasters are part of the way the planet works. In the ideal world, we would all live in places that aren't affected by natural hazards. We wouldn't live near coastlines, we wouldn't live along the San Andreas Fault in California, we wouldn't live underneath the volcanoes in the Pacific Northwest, but we live where our homes are. I mean, those are the places that are important to us. And then there are many people that don't have choices. The museum is presenting this exhibit to describe these events to people so they have a better understanding of earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, hurricanes, and tornadoes. But more than that, to begin thinking about the risks associated. As climate warms, we expect there to be more severe storms, more severe droughts, more wildfires, and to some extent, over the last decade, we've seen just that. There's no way we're going to avoid the natural hazards on a dynamic Earth, but there's certainly ways that we can learn to live with them to mitigate the risks to society.
So this is something which I have always wondered about every time I heard about a natural disaster in any place, whether it's an earthquake, a wildfire, or a tsunami. So I just want to know what does everybody here think about that? Why do people continue to live in places which are prone to these natural calamities? Views?
Can you repeat?
I'm just saying, as you saw in the video, they showed you a few natural calamities like hurricanes and forest fires, tsunamis. So people live in those areas, their houses get damaged, if not yearly, after some time, which is unpredictable. But they continue to live over there. Why don't they move away? Don't they go to someplace safer? Why do you think that happens? Why do people stay there? They move for other reasons. They move for education, they move for work. Why can't they move to a safer place?
It's a question I always wondered about too, particularly when you see things like the Mississippi River in the United States. It floods every year. Every year people get flooded out and then they go and they rebuild right on the banks again. It's a good question.
I think that maybe they're attached to the place or they're economically dependent on that area, maybe.
Or it can be their residential, like they can move on to the other place because they doesn't belong to there, and the place they're living in, I think they actually they are living in that place from their birth. So I think they can't move on for some kind of this relationship.
Some kind of emotional attachment or economic dependence.
Yes, some kind of emotional attachment. Yeah.
But they could make their house somewhere else economically if they are attached to the place. Wouldn't it be safer rather than build a house and see it destroyed in front of your eyes?
Well, some people can be poor and they can't have so much money to build, to buy another place to build their home or house or get another place for their living place. I think that can be the problem. It's can be prophetic.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Probably our emotions play in a weird, sorry, a weird way. So even though you know that your houses can get destroyed, you still continue to be attached to them. So yeah, that could be. Any other views? Anybody else thinks differently as to why would someone want to stay in the same place?
Well, may I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the point is that we're actually attached to the places that we've been born or bred or grown at. And another thing is that we may believe that even though there might be hardships and calamities, as you mentioned, we can still surpass these things. I mean, the human race has successfully lived all over the world, okay, like barren tops and mountain tops, and then uh, the scorching desert. So there's just like people in our school that actually says these things really. So this is the case. I mean, we sort of love the place we were grown, uh, and we do not easily leave this place, even though there are bad things there or there are hard things to do. I mean, it's like the emotional thing. That's what I'm saying. We try to stay to a place that we love, that we're accustomed to, and we think that maybe in the future we'll make things better. Okay, like we leave a place just because there is no hope whatsoever. If there is no hope, then we go away. Okay, so that would be the last thing to do probably.
So it is talking about human resilience in a way.
Okay, pardon me?
Human resilience, how we are resilient. We
Yes,
don't
we are.
give up. So as a human race, we have that to learn from it. Okay, so that's nice. Anybody? Yes, Kanish.
Yeah.
Yes, Tracy?
Yeah. Hi.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Okay, we have.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes we have spiritual connotations into some of these things. You know, we feel connected with our root. Wherever we come from, there is some kind of spiritual connotation attached to where we feel we belong and where we come from. So doing away with such places is difficult, irrespective of the circumstances surrounding the place. We feel difficult to depart from there because we kind of have some natural connection with wherever we come from. Yeah. That's my thought.
I wonder too if we also have that thinking of the known is at least we know what to expect. If we go somewhere else, that's an unknown, and we wouldn't know, what to expect. And maybe this is a freak thing that happened, and it's not going to happen to us again. And if we rebuild, that whole thing of at least we know what to expect here.
Known devil is better than the unknown one, I think.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's true. So does anybody live in such an area which is prone to a natural calamity like that? Would anybody like to share their experience on this if they are living in this area? Anybody?
Well, I can share something. It's about my aunt's husband's house. They actually living in the city area. I mean the capital of our country, but my uncle is coming from a village which is just located to a river. So sometimes um, in the rainy season, it actually happens the river erosions. For this, the many of the people of the village just lost their house and their lands in this river erosions, and actually they sometimes lose their domestic animals, and many things. I have just seen when it happens. We actually went to visit his place, and we actually face that problem that happens. We are, I mean, that's again signified of this incident.
Okay, so I think we can start with the reading of the story which I have today. I would just like to introduce it to you for a little bit. It's a Japanese story. The boy. Sorry, somebody's saying something. Okay, so it's about a story about, it's a Japanese story about how, again, as we have discussed right now about human resilience, about what happens in the face of a natural disaster, about why people don't want to move. So as we know that Japan is very prone to getting tsunamis. So this story is just about that. It talks about local indigenous game, a Japanese game. So hopefully once we read the chapter, we'll get more, read the script, we'll get more curious about that. So the title of the story is Yuuki and the Tsunami. We have 11 characters in the story. So who all would like to read? Can we have names? Calliope, narrator?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mahita?
Yeah.
Which character?
Villager 1.
Villager 1. Okay.
I want to take girl 1.
Name?
Charmin.
Okay. Who else?
Well, I can try, but maybe I have to go within starting the story, so I don't want to leave it. So now, today I'm gonna listen.
Okay. Okay, who else? Anybody else would like to read?
I would like to read.
Your name, please, because I can't see all of you. I'm sorry.
Saba.
Saba. Okay. Which character would you like to read?
Yuki's father.
Okay. Who else?
I'll read. Divya, what would you like me to read?
Yuki.
Okay.
Okay. So probably Shaman can do both girl 1 and girl 2. Is that okay? Because, or do we have somebody? Yes.
Slow.
Yeah, I want to do grandfather.
Okay. No. So we still have villager 2, the boys, and Yuki's mother. Anybody else?
I can read one of the boy characters.
Yeah, can I have your name, please?
Yeah, it's Hush.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Siddhi, would you like to try? Just have to recite.
Yeah, sure.
So you can be Yuki's mother.
Okay, yeah, sure. So to just when that dialogue is there, I have to read it.
Come, yeah. So you have this color. It's all color coded script. So when the color comes, you have to read it.
Okay, got it. Yeah, okay.
Anybody else?
What parts have you got left? No?
So we have villager 2, boy 2, and girl 2. So I think we still have about 3 people. Yes.
Who is girl one?
Girl one is shaman, so she can be girl two also, I think.
And do you
She can
have?
be both the girls, and boy, she can be both boy one and boy two. And there's villager two, so I'll be villager two then.
Okay.
Okay. I think we have everybody. So I'll just read out the names again so there's no more confusion. So narrator is Calliope, villager one is Mahita, girl 1 and 2 is Shamin, Yuki's father is Saba, Yuki is Tracy, Salam is the grandfather, boy 1 and 2 Hush, Yuki's mother is Siddhi, villager 2 I'll be reading. Is that good? Everybody's good with their roles?
Yes.
Okay. So we are beginning with the script now. Calliope.
Okay. Yuki's grandfather was the head of the village, the wealthiest, wisest, and most respected man around. If there was a problem in the village, everyone knew who to see.
Your goats kept coming into my field and eating my rice.
Oh, so it's my fault that your fence is torn?
My fence is torn because your goats ate it.
So don't make your fence out of grass.
Friends, please calm down. Sit. Let's discuss this over tea.
So I'll replace the fence with bamboo.
And I'll give you goat cheese every week for a year.
And they all shook hands. Then grandfather called out to Yuki.
So, you overheard your little drama. Tell me, what did you learn?
Don't let your goats eat a hole. Don't let your goats eat a hole in your neighbor's fence.
Haha, yes. Generally, not a good idea. Yuki, listen to me. I've been thinking it's time to tell you something important. The truth is, I am old. I will not be around forever.
Grandfather, no. Don't say that.
Push. Before you know it, you and your parents will be the ones to cultivate the family's rice crop. You remember what I told you?
If you take good care of the rice crops will take good care of you.
Excellent. Anything else?
Oh, I know. Fixing right takes thinking right.
Yep. It all starts with thinking. Thinking ahead. Well, and then there are times when it's enough with all this thinking. Like now, it's playtime. How about some camera?
Sure.
Sadly, Yuki's grandfather passed away not long ago. By then, Yuki was 10 years old. It was time for the annual harvest celebration.
Hey, it's great everyone bought lots of paper lanterns. We don't have anywhere near enough this year.
What are we waiting for? Let's get those decorations up.
Everyone started to hang decorations. Yuki was on the mountaintop playing, pretending to be different animals.
I'm a super strong, giant, wild pig. Going after a mountain lion. Roar! No, I'm a mountain lion going after a giant, wild pig. Growl.
As Yuki growls, a loud, long ramble is heard.
Wow, I'm pretty good. No, that wasn't me.
Meanwhile, down below.
Everyone okay?
Just a small earthquake.
Not enough to do any damage.
All right then, let's go back to work. There's still a lot to do.
That had to be an earthquake. But what a squishy feeling to it. Everything looks good down there. I guess all's fine. The sea, though, looks so dark. And why is it pulling away so fast from the shore? Wait a minute. Didn't grandfather tell me something about that?
Yuuki recalls.
Remember what I told you about when the sea turns dark and rolls back very fast?
What was that again?
It's my own grandfather had told me. It may only happen once every 100 years when there's an earthquake and then the sea pulls back far from the shore. It can mean only one thing. A tsunami is coming.
A tsunami, the huge wave that will cover everyone and everything. I must warn them all.
Hey, Yuuki, come look at the beach. It's huge. I've never seen so many shells.
Shaman. Shaman.
Did she fall off?
Look.
Look how far we can run around on the beach. This is awesome. Some of this I have never seen before. Follow me.
No, no. We all have to get out of here. A tsunami is coming. There isn't much time. Everyone has to clear out.
Ha! Good one, Yuuki. Good one.
Serious. A giant wave is coming any minute.
You're talking about that blue sky out there? Yeah, that's not happening.
Not right this second, but soon.
Whatever.
The children continue to play. Yuuki recalls.
Yuuki, just remember what fixing right takes.
Thinking right. But what does that have to do with... Wait a minute.
Yuuki enters and runs over to the rice fields. He holds a torch. Yuuki touches one tuft of rice, then another, and then another.
What is Yuuki doing with that torch? Man, he better be careful.
I better go tell them.
Yuuki runs up to the villagers.
Everyone, the rice fields are on fire.
Mahita. Mahita?
She could have fallen.
Yuuki, don't go around saying such a thing.
People could believe it and panic.
But they really are.
Hey, it does smell like something's burning.
Now that I mention it.
Look, I see smoke.
Oh no, the rice crop.
All looked over the rice fields in shock.
Where are the children?
At the beach, last I saw them.
Let's go warn them.
Kids, the rice fields are on fire.
This can spread fast. All of you up to the mountain top, quick.
They all started climbing to reach the mountaintop. On top, they stood there looking at the rice fields.
Look at our rice fields. The rice crop is ruined.
That fire came so fast. That could have been us down there.
It was Yuuki who warned us about the fire.
Yuuki, is that true?
Well...
But Yuuki is the one who started the fire.
What?
I saw him. Yuuki's been acting wild. First, he was running around the beach talking about some crazy big wave.
We were just playing on the beach and he won't let us alone.
Yuuki, you started the fire? Could that be true?
Well,
Why on earth would you do such a thing?
it was only because
all the crops are gone.
By now, our homes could have caught fire too.
Yuuki, have you lost your mind?
Look, everyone, look at the size of that wave.
That's not just a wave. It's a, you know, what do you call it?
It's a tsunami. It's going to hit the whole village.
What's left of it?
The loud sound of the waves crashing is heard. Everyone pulls back and huddles together in fear.
Sea covered our entire village. I can't even see our rooftops.
They would have been drowned.
But we're safe up here.
Yuuki, what's going on?
I'm sorry I burned the fields.
Som, you saved us. You saved the whole village. That's why you set the fire on the fields, right? To get everyone around to safety.
Well, I had to.
3 cheers for Yuuki. 3 cheers for the boy who saved our lives.
Hooray!
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 Yuuki, that was very smart. What did you do? How did you think of that?
I'm not sure. Fixing starts thinking right.
Sounds familiar.
Somebody else want
Baba, it's your turn.
You know what else your grandfather would say if he was here right now?
He'd probably say, why is everyone standing around? Let's find something to celebrate.
And that is the legend of how one boy in Japan years ago saved the lives of 400 people from a tsunami. True story. And now it's stay in Japan. Sayonara.
Sayonara.
Oh, this was so beautiful. Thank you all.
Yes, it was.
Nice.
So everybody read so nicely.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
True. It was a very beautiful story, actually, that really made us.
Enjoyed a lot.
Oh, but everybody put so much heart into it. I said that was amazing reading. Really enjoyed it. Every time I read the story, it gets more. I get more excited by it, and the way everybody was reading their parts. It was beautiful. Thank you all. So, what do we have to say? I thought that's like, what do we have to say about the story now? Do we think that children can do this? Do we think that children can make so much difference in the society? A small boy saving 400 people just by quick thinking. Do we actually think when we look at the child, do we think that, oh, this child can do so much? Or do we think that we need a leader to lead and then a difference can be made in the society?
Anyone can be a leader, even a young child. But the point is that we grown-ups usually tell younger ones to stop doing what they're doing, and they depend on us, and they do not act instantaneously and instantly. And so if we do not prohibit them from doing stuff, they will be leaders themselves. That's what I mean. Okay, there was a story here, like a few years ago, there was a fire in Greece, and there was a 4-year-old boy and a little baby, like a 2-year-old boy, and they were in the house alone for some reason. The house caught fire, and the 4-year-old one just grabbed the other one, and they jumped from the first floor balcony, and they were saved. Okay. And when they asked them why did you jump? How did you, what did you do this to save your lives? And they said, because mom was not here to tell us not to jump. So it actually takes some courage that younger children do have, and we should let them be the heroes of the day. That's what I mean. Okay, we adults keep students and like children back. We should try to change that more, give them more chances to do stuff.
I think that's where GMRT also comes in, because we are so accepting about views, because everybody is a teacher and everybody is a learner over here. So once you join, you realize that, oh, you might be 70 and you might be talking with a 7-year-old, but there's always something to learn over here. And we should never assume that age is giving us wisdom. Because sometimes wisdom can also make us very straight-laced about things. So I think that's why I love this platform, because you come here with that open mind that, okay, I'm going to learn over here. I don't know it all. And we do learn every session. Either we are learning about compassion, acceptance. I think that's very beautiful over here. Yes, Mahita, would you like to say something about this? How children can make a difference?
Yeah, definitely. It's been ages after ages that adults don't believe in childs, that they can be true about things. And I think the adults sometimes believe that children can, build nations in a different way. Actually, children, build nations, but we don't actually understand. It's totally a different thing. It's, beyond our understanding. But I think as adults, we have responsibilities to understand the thing that children they have the power to make changes and in the society too. That's it.
Sometimes an innocent viewpoint is also works, because when we come here also, if I have the script, I wouldn't want to, but when we come here, I have the readers country, I don't spell their own diagram, we don't even write their. Okay, anybody else? Salom, probably, would you like to share your ideas about
Yes.
how? Yes.
Yes. In time past, children are always considered not to have like knowledge. They are always considered to always subject themselves to what adults are, how they say. But now it is being revealed that when we allow children, they are able to do great things. And even now, all the innovations that are coming in the world, majority is coming from children. They are the people that are coming with all the innovations of the world and the breakthroughs of the world. So it is like a changing world. And now we need to give children the attention. We need to listen to them. We need to allow them to explore. When we give them the freedom to explore, then they become very innovative. Then they can save our society. Assuming children are intimidated, they are not allowed, you can do this, hey, you must sit here, and that's all. They don't have the way to challenge, children don't have the right. You can't challenge an adult because whatever the adult says is the right. So we need to give children and the young people, for that matter, the opportunity to explore, to also have their say, to also come out with what they feel. They should feel at home to express themselves. In that way, when something is happening, they would also have the mindset to save the situation. Yeah, that's my submission.
That's really nice, I think, because that's what, as a society, we probably need to learn that our ideas, just because we are older, might be a little jaded also. So like a fresh coat of paint is required on a wall. So we were reading the story, we also read about, I don't know if people noticed, there was something like Kemari. The grandfather tells Yuki that let's go and play Kemari. So did any of you notice that, or have you ever heard of that before? Would you want me to go back to that part where the Kemari is mentioned? Yeah.
Yes,
So
Divya, I wasn't sure what you had.
okay, just a minute. So it's right in the beginning when they are discussing about, so it's like basically, okay, things are getting very tough. If it's a very serious discussion, so let us take a break from it. And here it's written Kemari. So this over here, if you can see the grandfather's dialogue, yep, it all starts with thinking ahead. Well, and then there are times when it's enough with all this thinking, like now, it's playtime. How about some Kemari? So, uh, have we heard of this before? Like, what is this? Do you get curious about it as to what can this be? What is Kemari? What do you think it can be?
I'm assuming.
Okay.
It is a game with pebbles that they throw. Just making assumptions. Like they throw away and then they have to, I don't know what. But it just comes to me as if there's something with pebbles, with like small stones and rocks. No?
Okay.
Yes?
Anybody else remember that we are near a beach, we are in a story which is based in Japan, so any more guesses as to what Kemari can be? And then we'll find out with a short video as to what it actually is, but till then we can take some wild guesses. Anybody else wants to take a guess as to what Kemari can be?
I'm thinking it might be something like hack and sack, or something that they're playing and hitting up and taking turns, bouncing and hitting it up.
That's close. That's very close. I think, Tracy, you have some idea about what Kemari is. You have almost kind of nailed it.
Oh, really? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
what I think you must have heard it somewhere. It's there somewhere in your probably.
I've just noticed in my travels when I lived near the beach, the kids all came out onto the beach and they played either football or soccer type of things. And the other thing was taking the ball and trying to hit it up in the air and see if they could keep it up and hit it with their heads or their elbows or their whatever.
Oh my God, this is like there. You could be hosting that video. You could be hosting that video. It's just there. I think that's what's beautiful about this world is, like, if there is a story about the beach and there is a story about a sport, then see, you probably haven't seen this happening in Japan, but there is something so common, something so universal about different cities, about gods, about sports. You come down to it, they might be very indigenous sports, but we realize that they are all have got their similarities. So I'm just going to share this one small video, though I think Tracy has said it all already, but we'll probably get a little more visuals about it. I'll just share this thing. I found it on YouTube and I thought it's like nice and tells you a little bit about it. Okay, why do we have this? 1 minute. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is Diwali, which is going to happen in India, but we don't need to see this.
I thought that was Kemari.
It happens on Saturday. Yeah, it's a beautiful house.
It's there in 4 days in India, but that's not what we are here for right now.
It's called Kemari, horse football. And back in feudal times, the nobility were all expected to know how to play.
Can you imagine trying to play something in all of those robes and everything?
Not until they get started that I realize Kimari has neither winners nor losers. It's just friendly camaraderie. But to me, the most surprising thing is this. In a land where teamwork is everything, Kimari is Japan's only homegrown team sport.
So I hope you enjoyed that, but as I told you, Tracy has said it all. She was right, absolutely right. Tracy, now you can see they were actually playing with the sack kind of a thing. They're just throwing it, keeping it in the air.
But what I liked was the fact
was spot on.
The mentioning of teamwork, how important teamwork is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing.
That it wasn't
Teamwork
about
and there's no competition. It's just enjoyment. I felt it when I saw this video. I felt I have to show this because it's again picking up on that what GMRT is all about. When we come here, it's just like enjoying something, learning something, and there is no competition happening over here. Nobody's trying to trying to score on anybody. It's just like be here, say whatever you want to say, air your feelings, air your views, and everything is acceptable. So that's why. So does anybody else, like you are from Greece, Calliope, Bangladesh, we have so many representatives from different countries with other people from other countries. So they get something called the Pitu. I don't know if probably they have similar things in other countries in which you are supposed to pick up 7 stones of different sizes, keep them on top of each other, and then hit them with a ball. So, and the other players are standing around, so they go to catch the ball. And while in the time that the other player would come back, you are supposed to pile them up again. So it goes something like that. It's called Pitu. So that would something which would be played in villages and in streets. There are no competitions. So just like, yeah, so you have something like that in other countries.
So once again, Divya, you put one rock on top of the other and then you throw them with pebbles. We have the same one.
No, you hit, okay.
You hit it with a ball. You hit it with a ball, and then the further it goes, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have the same one, exactly the same one. We also play that in villages and neighborhoods, and it's called kikirikia. Kikirikia in Greek, yeah. So we have the same one.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Sports like probably Tracy saw the Kemari version, some version of Kemari somewhere else. We are in you are in Europe, I'm in Asia, and we have a similar games. So anybody else you'd like to share what your people in your villages or neighborhoods play, which don't actually get into those big international competitions? Oh. Anybody? Tracy, what about you? You have something over back in US?
Oh, well, games like dodgeball. Somebody's in the center and you have people surrounding them with a ball and you try, to hit them and get them out of the center. A lot of times people will go and try and just throw the ball directly at whoever is in the center. And then after a while, they get smart and they start to pass the ball to someone else that's closer because they realize if I throw the ball to that person can get them faster or quicker than I could get them, kind of thing. And then it goes back to the teamwork. So yeah, that's the one that comes.
What about Salam? You have something, Salam, there?
I'm sorry, Divya, what did you say?
Salam is from which country? Salam is from which country?
I'm from Ghana.
Okay, in Ghana, Salam, do you have something which is played in your neighborhood and not the world over?
Yeah, we have something we call Oware.
Okay, and how do we play that?
It's played with kind of beads, like it's like it is carved normally with wood. And then I think there are 10 slots, 5 at each side. And then each is filled with 4 beads. So you start arranging it from whichever side you are. You pick from one source and then you arrange it one by one until you get to a place where, like, if you arrange it in such a way that from the first start, you start arranging it till you get to an empty slot. Then that ends it. Then the other person takes it over. When your last end ends with a 4 in the slot, whether it is your side or the other person's side, the person takes it. But if it is 4 at my side, a 5 at my side, then I would have to take it. So at the end of the day, the one who has a lot of beats wins the game. I don't know.
It sounds very complicated right now.
I kind of can think of there's a name for that game, and that we've played that here too, but I can't recall what it is.
Yeah, here we call it Owari.
Yeah. I think we have similar games all over. Something similar, because these games probably were invented by children. So that I think whatever children try to make do with whatever is available to them. So if I'm seeing like you, I remember when I was a kid and we used to have summer holidays, and that time when we didn't have TV, so we would probably get half an hour of TV every day, and that was mostly news. So during the vacation time, I would take a newspaper, picture from a newspaper, tear it into pieces, and make jumble thing out of that. So that was like a very good game for me. And now if I tell kids, oh, you can do that, then look at me blankly, which, like, are you from the Neanderthal age or something? Where are you coming from? How can you tell us to play this game? But I thought, you are not getting screen time. So it's a very interesting game. Every day I have a new game. So I take a picture, tear it into pieces, and then try to put it together. So it used to work for me.
I noticed when I traveled the ingenuity of the kids being able to make toys of the materials that they find laying around, whether it's a little car that they're pulling, or it's amazing, how many things that they find.
On Indian roads, a lot of times you'd find kids, they just take a tire, like a bicycle tire, and they'd be hitting it with a rod, and they're taking it around, turning it around, just managing everything with a rod. You go to villages and you see things like that, which is very interesting. And those kids are having like a lot of fun. They don't need those, like, to play video games. They are having so much. They're outside, they are running around, they have so much fun. So that's where I think that it's so beautiful to watch the innocence and the play and the freshness in a child. It's so beautiful.
The other thing, Divya, I just want to point out is at the end of the story, they lost their village and they lost their homes. But what did they end up doing at the end of the story?
Celebrating.
Yeah. They joined together in song. And that was the thing that always was amazing to me in my travels, because here in the United States, it's more, oh, woe is me. Why did God do this to me? And it's all about me. And what am I going to do? Whereas, and when I traveled to villages, and there was some, I was in Kerala during the floods. There was some devastation going on in Africa too when I was there. And yet they all came and joined together and they sang together, held hands, and they sang and they danced, and it's just something that I admire so much in the people of the other countries, the resilience and their ability to say, yes, We may have lost this, but we are here. We have ourselves, and we thank God, and we sing song about that. It's always been a beautiful thing to me. It was interesting.
If I may, this might also answer Divya's first question, and how willing we are how willing are we to leave a place after there's a disaster or something. So the really important thing is probably to survive, to be happy with your family. This could also explain the COVID area of the COVID period now, as far as we're okay and healthy and strong after this thing, we should all be smiling and celebrating and be happy no matter what. Okay, let's just hope that everybody we love stays with us throughout this hard period. Okay.
So I would say that the story is about celebration of life then. That life is we can rebuild houses, we can make, houses are okay to replace. It's the people who are important, which the COVID is also teaching us right now. That people are important. When you are in your houses, when you cannot step out, when you had to, especially during the initial months of lockdown. So that's what nature keeps telling you, that listen, whatever you are going for, it's the people who are important, and that is what's giving you the cushion in life, I feel. So we have to realize communities are important, houses, nations are secondary. It's the what we can do for each other is more important than what the world at large, or there are so many wars. You see the world news, and there's so many wars and whatever, elections, competition. But and the bottom, what does my heart need? My heart needs another warm heart. So that is what is important. So that is why coming together, this kind of platform is so important in this, when we are lonely sometimes in our houses. Probably we have a tiff with a sibling or a spouse or a parent. We come here and we get that, as I was telling Tracy the other day, we get and cocooned into a warmth over here. So my 1 hour is so well spent. I leave with a smile on my face.
Yeah, can I share something?
Yeah, sure, Shalom.
Yeah, so adding to what Tracy said earlier, I think always in a group, you feel the spirit of togetherness, the spirit of belonging, and you commune. When there is a disaster, or whether in joy or in pain and whatever, when people are there to commiserate, at least you have some kind of courage to feel carried on. You have some hope because you feel belong. You feel that there are people there for you, because you feel that you are not there alone, because you feel you are not isolated and all those kind of things. So I think the sense of belongingness is very much when it comes to natural disaster. At the end of the day, even though it is disaster, but they all come together. They leave all aside. Imagine you are alone. The trauma, the pain, the thinking, and all those, you'll be traumatized. But once you have a sense of belonging, and then you are with people, you tend to be a consolation to each other. So it rekindle the joy in you. Yeah.
That's very well put, Salom, I think.
And I think that's why I really love the GMRT, because in essence, we are really kind of segregated. Well, we're segregated by distance, but even within our own home here, we're very segregated. And yet I still have the ability to go into my GMRT family and find friends and be able to socialize and communicate and share and problem solve and do all those things that right now we are not able to do, because of having to be separated and social distancing. So this is why this is such a special place for me.
Same here. You feel so connected, even though the distance doesn't matter. You feel so connected, and you feel that, we are probably at some level, we are like-minded people. So you hope that we can grow into something one day and make make this matter, make the ideology matter. I cannot talk about the club but the ideology is so important and so beautiful that it should make a difference in the world, that these people have come together and they are thinking on these lines and they can make a difference. I think definitely, because somewhere the core, we are going to the core of knowledge, of education, of realization. So that core is very important. And if we can make other people realize that, okay, this is what is important. Whatever else we are striving for is not so big. I think that would be really nice. Yeah, so I think, Tracy, over to you now. You are muted. Tracy, you're on mute.
So I'm going to have to let you guys go. Yeah, I'm going to go. So, bye. Thank you so much, Divya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Tracy, you are mute. Tracy?
That was wonderful, Divya. Thank you for sharing that story. It's always been a favorite of mine, even when I started teaching back in the 1980s, which is when I first heard the story. It's still always stuck with me. And it just is a wonderful story that shares with us so many different aspects of how resilient we really are as a human race. But we do need each other to be able to progress forward. Thank you. It was great, Divya.
Thank you.
So I just want to let people know that Salome is going to facilitate us tomorrow. Is that right, Salome? You're going to be our facilitator tomorrow?
Sure.
You're sure? Yes, and he's got another story very different from all of us. And I believe he facilitates at 9 this time.
Okay.
So, okay. So anyhow, from our GMRT global community, I want to thank everybody for being here. And Divya, what a wonderful job you did facilitating us today. I want to thank you as well.
Thank you. Always attending a meeting is a pleasure, always. And looking forward to Salome's meeting tomorrow. We'll be there.
Thank you, Divya. Nice job done.
Thank you. Thank you.